Hello everybody and welcome back to Red Eagle Politics. Make sure you like this video down below and subscribe to the channel if you are new. And I hope that everybody had a happy new year. We are now in 2023. This is a brand new year, but we still have the same old political turmoil that we've had for the past few years or so. And that's going to continue even further this week at the 11th hour because Kevin McCarthy, I talked about this in a video about a week ago, but he is still short on votes in his bid to become Speaker of the House. We know that Republicans had a disappointing 2022 performance. They still retook the House. And now there is a lot of turmoil within the House and within the Republican Party when it comes to the speakership because McCarthy may not have the votes to become Speaker. That doesn't mean that a Democrat is going to become Speaker. Of course, somebody will need a total majority of those who are indeed voting. And we're going to talk about some of these scenarios, but there are a lot of hardliners, 14 in particular. There's 5 big ones who are holding their vote and are not voting for Kevin McCarthy to become Speaker for various reasons. So we're going to dive into why and what's going to happen or what could very well happen. There are many scenarios that could, but first I have to tell you guys about our very good friends over at Noble Gold. Noble Gold Investments is pleased to let you know that gold was the best investment class for 2022. According to longtermtrends.net, gold has actually outperformed the S&P 500, Dow, and Bitcoin back in 2022. So what are you waiting for 2023? Open up a gold or silver IRA with Noble Gold Investments this month and receive a free quarter-ounce American Gold Eagle coin with every qualified IRA of $50,000. You can't go wrong with Noble Gold Investments and their thousands of 5-star reviews. So, Kevin McCarthy, he's short on votes to become Speaker. Again, he was the former majority leader of the House ever since Paul Ryan decided to retire. And what has exactly happened? We saw a disappointing performance or so in 2022. The messaging's not there. Is he necessarily as bad as Paul Ryan? No, but he still does cave on some issues, and he runs on this outdated GOP platform that isn't resonating with voters. They're not adding any new voters to the GOP tent by having the platform that they've had for the past 30, 40 years. What worked in the 80s or what worked in the 90s is not necessarily guaranteed to work in the year of 2023. This is a new era in politics. We know that the left controls virtually every social or political institution. So with the little institutional power that we do have, we need to bring something new to the table to counter this so we can actually reverse the trend that we've seen over the past 60 years or so we can actually get the ball rolling on changing the way that our society and our country and our culture operates. And this is true. And Kevin McCarthy is representative of the problem, even if he might not be as bad as a Paul Ryan type. But we don't even know how he is going to lead as a speaker. Paul Ryan was selected in the first place because of the fact that, oh, this guy is something new. He's like younger. He's going to bring something new to the table. And he didn't. He caved. He was arguably the number one inhibitor to the Trump agenda for the 2 years where Republicans had a trifecta within the government. They had the Supreme Court. What got done? They fumbled the ball on health care. They got some tax bill passed, which was decent. It had its pros and cons, and then that was pretty much about it. Nothing meaningful got done regarding immigration, regarding healthcare. That's why the blue wave of 2018 was such a great magnitude, and that's why we saw, Trump's popularity in some cases not really rise as much as it potentially could have rose. And this is very true. And a lot of Republicans, people like Andy Biggs, know this, and they are opposing Kevin McCarthy. McCarthy's still short on votes. You have people like Andy Biggs in Arizona. You have Bob Good in Virginia. Oddly enough, you have people like Donald Trump and like Marjorie Taylor Greene that are supporting Kevin McCarthy. I don't necessarily believe that they should. Part of their rationale is that there are more pro-McCarthy people or only McCarthy, only Kevin members of Congress than the never Kevin members of Congress, and they fear as if there's going to be some compromise pick, they're going to get somebody more, weak or more moderate or more of a neocon rhino and get a bunch of these Democrats to cross over, and they're going to cut a deal with the opposition. And that very may well be true, or that may be what could happen, which is very dangerous. But at the same time, either way, it's very possible that if Republicans were able to get into shape, that you could see them replace Kevin McCarthy with somebody like an Andy Biggs. Now, I heard some rumors today that Andy Biggs is not necessarily the guy that is going to be receiving the votes for Speaker, even though he kind of ran against him in that very nominal election that didn't really mean a whole lot that took place, a month or two ago. But still, Kevin McCarthy does not exactly have the votes, and if anything, this could push him to the right in the meantime, if he does actually get in there. If not, it's very possible that one of two things could happen, as I aforementioned. You're either going to have this compromise pick who's weaker than McCarthy, which would be a train wreck, or you could get somebody much better than McCarthy, but you're still going to need to get a lot of those votes of people that are just so firmly in line with McCarthy. So he would have to step aside for a new speakership election to happen, because they're not going to be able to get a majority of Congress people to vote for a Democrat. But Democrats could easily, put up somebody who is a weak Republican, and they could get, 5 Republicans that are needed to actually just flip over. And that's true. That is a risk. But either way, it's going to be interesting to see what happens. You have the 5 big conservatives that are going to vote for Speaker as a block. You have Andy Biggs, Matt Gaetz, Rolf Norman, Matt Rosendale, and Bob Good. I've actually met 3 of those 5, by the way. And all 5 are pretty solid on most issues, and we know that, and they always have been, these fighters in the House. They've always stood by principles for the most part, I would say, and that's a good thing. And we know that, and they're going to be opposing McCarthy. Who are they going to put up? I don't exactly know. I know there are more. I think Lauren Boebert has said she would not vote for McCarthy. She got in a fight with Marjorie Taylor Greene about that on Twitter. It's going to be interesting to see what happens when it's all said and done. But if the full House is voting, he can only lose 4. So if he has 5 people that are going to be permanently opposed to him in this speakership race, that means that he is not going to be Speaker. And these people are very hardline about this. And this is very true. And you could see this here, and Andy Biggs wrote this article on American Greatness where he said, I cannot vote for Kevin McCarthy as House Speaker. And he went on and he totally hit the nail on the head and talked about how leadership needs to change. Whatever they're doing now is not exactly working. There needs to be a change in leadership. I said for the longest time, for several years now, that Andy Biggs should be the Speaker of the House because he is somebody who probably could get the votes to do it under the right circumstance and is just rock solid on pretty much every single issue. And he hit the nail on the head yet again, that in the minority, they were told not to make changes to the leadership. This year, they were told they were going to have a red wave, and they were going to gain 25 seats or more. At a very minimum, that was the conservative estimate, no pun intended, and this is true. And a lot of people were not wanting to change their leadership because they believed that Kevin McCarthy could lead them to victory, and he did not lead them to victory. It was a very underwhelming victory that you could honestly thank the New York and California GOPs for, which is kind of ironic because they usually haven't had the best track record in the past, but they got their act together in New York, California. They used the electoral system to their advantage, which is the same electoral system that doomed them in 2018, and it's the same electoral system that a lot of states and a lot of swing states kicked into gear in 2020, and Republicans still need to learn how to navigate that, and that's true. But even like Nate Silver, Nate Plastic, we called him that. I guess, he's still Nate Plastic because he got the House wrong the other way even. But you look at the expectations, the median seat gain was around like 15 to 20, and that was, again, laughed at the time. I think RCP had it in the low 240s, and you saw what happened. Nothing of the sort happened, or even you could even say came close. We didn't even know who won the House until a few days after the election. And obviously we knew the night of that it was more likely than not that Republicans would take it. But still, Kevin McCarthy is at fault for this. He is the leader of the Republican Party in terms of the House. This happened under his watch, nobody else's. He should not be rewarded with a term as Speaker of the House, which is arguably like the third most prestigious office in the entire country. And there needs to be a change. I don't know what is going to happen, but you do have all of these holdouts. It will be interesting to see. What you don't want to have happen, though, and I will say this, is to have Democrats influence the Republican speakership, because if you have 5 holdouts and all the Republicans are on board for somebody even weaker than McCarthy and they get 5 Democrats on board, that's not going to be a good look, and you're going to see even more Republicans cave under that leadership into whatever Biden wants or whatever Biden's demands are, or his policies or his budget, spending bills, etc. You don't want that to happen. So we need to navigate this carefully, and that part is true. But Kevin McCarthy and the weak Republican leadership should not be rewarded for the absolute train wreck that was 2022. And that is something that we need to take into consideration moving forward ahead of 2024. We need a change in leadership. We'll talk more about the RNC leadership election as well, because Ronna Romney McDaniel very well could end up going down as well, even though the Republican establishment will likely stay behind her. But it's going to be interesting to see what happens there. But in terms of this, I really do believe that it's going to be interesting to see what happens. Kevin McCarthy, I think he probably does stay as Speaker somehow, but the fact that you have all of these detractors pushing him to the right, that's going to really shake things up ahead of the speakership election that's going to be happening momentarily here. So it's going to be interesting. But anyways, guys, thanks for watching this video. Like this video down below, comment down below, subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell for notifications so you never miss another video. Follow me on social media. The links are all in the description down below. As always, guys, thanks for watching. Red Eagle, out.